So when I think about the world, I was overwhelmed recently. And I said this to a mentor friend of mine whose name is Rachel Naomi Remen. I don't know if any of you know her. She wrote Kitchen Table Wisdom and My Grandfather's Blessings. And I said, Rachel, it's so overwhelming. I mean, as I look at that picture of the world, how perfect. And I said, I just feel so overwhelmed with everything. What do I do? She said, Karen, it comes down to one thing. You touch one heart at a time. Every day, touch one heart. When I heard that, I went, ooh, song title. So I'll teach you this as a little chant. And we can change the world one heart at a time. And we can change the world one heart at a time. I see you, and I know you, and you're a part of me. That's the whole thing. Sing that with me. We can change the world one heart at a time. We can change the world one heart at a time. I see you, I know you, you're part of me, you're a part of me. You got it, sing it one more time. And we can change the world. Sing this song, I sing this little baby back there, just kind of like this. One heart at a time, it's all for you, you know, it's all about this little person. And we can change the world, we can change this world, one heart at a time. I see you, I know you, you're part of me, you're a part of me. And my heart is open to love. My heart is ready to love each of you. About telling of yourself, you can change the world. Looking around the room, I mean, you, one heart at a time. You can change, and you can change the world. You can change the world, one heart at a time. I see you, I know you, you're a part of me, you're a part of me. Okay, you ready to take the next step? I can change the world, one heart at a time. I can change the world. It's really true, you know. One heart at a time. I see you, I know you, you're part of me, you're a part of me. And my heart is open to love. It's a declaration saying, my heart is ready to love each of you. So the other thing that Rachel said to me, she said, in the Native American tradition, there is a story about Grandmother Spider Woman. And Grandmother Spider Woman is here to weave threads between each of us all the time. And these threads are invisible, but they are what connects us. But what happens is when we go through a tragedy, when we go through like the fires that happened in Santa Rosa, or I was just in Florida, the floods that happened there last year, that all of a sudden she does double duty. And she allows those strings to become visible. And what happens is people are there saying, how can I help you? What can I do? Do you need food? Do you want to stay at my house? What do you need? What do you need? Thread, 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 thread. So right now, put your right hand over your heart and put your left hand on the person next to you on their shoulder. Or even just put your hand up like this if you're not near somebody. And this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like when we are connected. When Grandmother Spider-Woman is weaving her web, this is what it looks like. And this is why we come here to this church. Like you said, we are a church about community and love. That you come here, yes, you come for the music and you come for the message, but you come for this, to feel that connection and that community with each other. That's what church is. So allow yourself to just look around at this community right now. If these are people that see you and hear you and know you, that you are bonded. One heart at a time, we can change. We can change just by doing this. One heart at a time. We can change this world. One heart at a time. Don't even plot. Don't even plot. Just stay in that place. Thank you, guys. So that's what this is. It's being connected. It's being allowing yourself. It's allowing yourself every day. Well, you can turn this down just a little bit. It's a little feedbacky. You know what? I can't stand it. Would you please acknowledge how fabulous this band is? So it all comes down to a choice every day, doesn't it? It all comes down to a choice of how are we going to live our lives? How are we going to, God, I'm having some ring here. Why don't we turn it down even more if you could? A little feedbacky up here. So when we have that choice, you know, I do this a lot. In all of my women's retreats that I do this a million times, don't I? She's been to my women's retreats. The thing about just putting your hand over your heart and checking in with your heart every day. To just say, what does my heart have to say today? And the way I got that little idea was years ago I was part of a theater troupe around San Francisco. And my job in this little show was, I was Dr. Heart. And I had a stethoscope and I had heart shoes and heart smock and heart everything. And my job in the show was to go up to all the little kids. And we played all these pediatric wards around all over the Bay Area. And these little kids are all hooked up to tubes, and it just was so hard to do the show. But my job was to come with my stethoscope and come up to their little hearts and say, what does your heart, oh, you're really doing it. What does your heart have to say? What does your heart have to say? What is your heart? And these little landing crews would look up at me and go, oh, my heart is really sad because I just want to go out and play. Or my heart is sad because, you know, I think I'm really sick and my parents are so upset. And so one of the greatest spiritual practices I think we can do every morning is to put our hands over our heart and say, what does my heart have to say today? What does my heart have to say? Do that right now. Just put your hand over here and take a deep breath. What does my heart have to say? And that can also be like, what is my heart guiding me to be today, or to do, or to have, to say to someone? What does my heart have to say? And it's all a choice. It's all a choice. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice of how that day is going to be. So I learned a long time ago the power of how music can really help you in how you start your day. So all of my CDs that I make, I'll start with the very first song being something really positive, like I start my day with love, or thank you for this day, Spirit, or I surrender to my greatest, highest good, whatever it is. And I learned, I don't know if I've said this little story before, but I love it because I was in a hotel recently, and the very first song that I heard was on my alarm clock radio, and so the alarm wakes me up with Linda Ronstadt singing to me, you're no good, you're no good, you're no good, baby, you're no good. And she goes, I'm gonna say it again, you're no good, you're no. And so of course, what do you think is happening all day long? I didn't say that to you, you're very good, you're very good. But what do you think I'm hearing in my mind all day long? That's all I'm hearing. And so now you have to turn around and go, I'm so good, I'm so good. But it's all a choice. And you know, when you woke up this morning, did you look in the mirror and go, oh my God, did you get more beautiful overnight? What's the deal? What is the deal here? Did you do that? Or did you go, oh my God, it's all sagging and falling? So it's really allowing yourself to start the day saying, this is how I choose to be. And so that's why I chose in that last moment. You were very good that you picked that up so bad. I just changed the song right then because it felt to me like that meditation song was about, it really does come down to, it starts with you first. You know what it's like when you travel and they say, when you're on a plane and they say, if that oxygen mask falls, put it on yourself first and then your whiny husband or children or whatever. But it's that you have to do it to yourself first, and so it's that choice. And so one of the choices that I make every day, and it's an everyday practice, every single day, is the choice to be present. Because when you are present, the world opens up to you. So I know this so much when I travel. It's so amazing to me because everyone, you know, they're all on their devices. I just came from New York. Oh my God. You know, everyone's like, they're walking down the street bumping into you like this. And especially when you travel, it's like you sit in the waiting area and no one's looking. Everyone's just like this. And I always crack up because when I'm on the plane and I just want to connect with people. I want to be present enough to connect. And I can always tell when I do this with someone. I'm sitting in my chair, and here comes someone about to sit next to me, and I just say, hi, how are you? And you can see this look of panic go across their face, like, oh my God, you might be a talker. Do I say hello to them? If I, you know, they just, you can see this thing, and they just go, hello, like this. And I just want to say, I'm just saying hello. It's okay. We're not going to talk. It's fine. Just shush. But I had an amazing experience the last 6 weeks of my life that I need to acknowledge before I go into anything else. Yay! Is that I had the opportunity, and I'm sure many of you have gone through something similar like this, to really choose moment by moment by moment by moment to be present. And that happened in what I'm calling the master class of life. And what that is that I have a very good friend of mine who had cancer. And when she saw that it was taking a turn, that she wasn't going to be here much longer, she gathered together 10 of her closest friends. And she said, would you walk me to the end? And so we all had to really look in our hearts and say, am I willing to do this? And whatever it's going to take. And so for the last 6 weeks, that has been my life, is walking my friend to her death. And this just happened a few weeks ago. And what was really amazing, I call it the master class. We all did, actually, because it just was like this, just this choice to be constantly present in what was happening. It was literally like, you remember years ago when you actually had to get up off the couch and go to the TV and turn the channel? Oh my God, what an amount of exercise you had to do. And sit down and go, no, I don't want that one, I want this one. But that's what this whole situation was like. It was like I literally got turned to another channel of presence. Because I got to look at my own fears, I got to look at what it was like to take care of someone who's battling her own issues of leaving. I mean, she was my age. It was the first friend I've had that I did this with that, you know, was my age. It wasn't like my parents, it's like someone my age dying. But the thing that was so amazing, and the reason why I'm even telling you this story, is that she, at one point said to me, she's lying in her bed, and she had all these people all scurrying around doing things for her. I mean, we all took turns in our, you know, in our caregiving of her. But with tears in her eyes, she looked at me and she said, Karen, why is everyone showing up like this for me? I look on my Facebook page and everyone's giving me all this love, and we had a caring bridge site set up for her, and people are writing her these long, beautiful things. And she was a practitioner in religious science, and she even had some meditation CDs out that were beautiful. And so she was known. I mean, she really put herself out as a spiritual being on this planet. And with tears in her eyes, she said, why is this happening? And I said, Janet, This didn't happen overnight. This caring that is coming to you and this love that is coming to you is a lifetime. It's a lifetime that you've cultivated of kindness. It's choices you made every day to be kind to people. As a practitioner, to serve these people. She had clients that were with her for 20 years that were so devoted to her. And once again, it comes down to choices. That she made choices along her path that all of a sudden now at the end of her life, she was able to reap those benefits of all these people coming to her and giving her all this love. And if anything, I had to, my role in her world, I tried to be her nurse, that didn't work. I tried to be her cook, that didn't work. But the music part I could do. And I had to keep singing to her these different songs of mine, like, I allow, I surrender. And we would sit there and, she'd lie in bed and just go, I allow, I surrender, I allow, I surrender. Because she had to, like, allow that love in. Because she kept going, why is this happening? Allow it. And if anything, what was really an amazing part of this whole journey was, at the very end, she was kind of really hanging on. She was having a hard time going. And she kept saying, why is it taking so long? And the same thing I had to say, Janet, when have you ever had it in your life that all of your cooking needs are being handled, someone's paying your bills, all you do is lie here all day long and be told how fabulous you are and what a difference you've made in the world and how loved you are, and just have everyone, like, she literally would ring a bell and, we'd all run in, like, what do you need, what do you need, what do you need? When have you had that? Why would you want to leave? And she went, oh yeah, you're right. And when she got that, she really just allowed it in that much more. And at one point, I remember I was in the room with her, and hospice called. And I just was laughing. I just thought, how often do they get someone on the phone like this, that the hospice worker is calling her saying, how are you doing? She's going, oh, I'm great, I'm having a wonderful death. This is, you can just tell the person, just like, great, that's great to hear. I'm having a wonderful death. And what was really amazing to me with this whole process, I was going up to Petaluma, I live in San Rafael, I'm going up to Petaluma like every day, and sometimes I was exhausted, and sometimes I would just come home and cry, and sometimes I'd be frustrated, and sometimes I would be beautiful. So much of it was so beautiful to be with someone in that place, because you are forced to be in total presence. But at the very end, I had a gig out of town, and I was so afraid that I was going to not be there at the end, because she really wanted her tribe there. And I came home from this gig, and I immediately rushed up to her house, and something told me in that moment to put on this CD that she had made. She had made a CD that's beautiful of all her meditations, and I put music to one of her words, which is, I am love revealed. All that is separate is now healed. And being love thou art, the pure expression of my divine heart. And I put music to this, and something told me that morning, after I had seen her for a few minutes and I'd gone out, and then the three of us that were there that morning all of a sudden had this feeling to go in, and I had the feeling to put on that CD. And in that moment, we looked, and her breathing had changed, and we started singing her this song. I am love revealed, I am love revealed, all that was separate is now healed. And in that time when we were singing, by the end of the song, she passed. And it was just one of those just divine, sweet moments where it's like, maybe she just really needed to be sung out. And to have that gift, to be that present, has affected me in every area of my life. How can you go back to being unconscious when you've been in that place, when you've walked to the edge, and you've seen, it's kind of like the Stephen Covey begin with the end in mind consciousness, where to see her at the end of her life, it's like, I want that. I want to make choices every day that lead me to having a life like that, that people feel like I made a difference to them. And that's what we get every day. We, right now, have that choice that we get to make of, are we going to be, what are we going to be? What does my heart have to say? So recently I was on the Southwest Airlines flight and I was in the coveted A position. And I'm standing in the front of this line and I'm seeing this situation that was so interesting because I had been there before, where I was seeing this guy bring his elderly mother to the gate, and it looked like she had a little bit of dementia or something was going on. She just looked kind of confused and he looked really worried. And everyone was on their devices, but I'm seeing this scene and I immediately could pick up what the situation was, that he was dropping her off and had anxiety about, is this all going to work? And he was with her and he finally kind of like gave her to the flight attendant. And as he was walking away, he kind of kept looking back like this. And he must have felt my energy, because in that moment, I looked at him and I said, I'll watch her, and I'll watch out for her. And you can see him just go, thank you. And so we take our flight, and I see her at the end of the, I always call it a gangplank, the jetway. And she's standing there, and she's, she looks really confused, like, where do I go, what do I do? And because obviously the person couldn't come in from security to get her. And I go up to her and I say, hi, my name's Karen, I'll take you to the person who's picking you up. And she looks at me and she goes, oh, Karen, you look fabulous, have you lost weight? I'm going, yeah, sure. And so I take her to the person, and now I'm seeing the same situation happening over there. That here's the other brother kind of doing one of these, like, where is she? And I take her there, and she says, so you're going to join us for dinner tonight, right? And the brother's looking like, who are you? But when I realized what the gift in that day was, I started my day saying, what does my heart have to say today? My heart is saying I want to be present to how I can be used in this world today. That was my prayer that morning. And that's how God manifested this situation for me to see. Nobody else saw it. Nobody, they're just going about their day. But that's part of how we change the world. It's as small as when you go to Starbucks, my personal church. When you go to Starbucks and the little barista hands you your latte, and instead of just going thanks, you just take that second to say thank you. I see you. You're a part of me. I see. And I'm not talking about that woo, like, wow, the meanness in me sees the you-ness in you, and we're bonded and we're connected. Wow. And they're going, ew, lady, get away. Freak me out. I'm just talking about that extra moment. That extra little moment that shows you matter. I'm always amazed, too, when there's no one behind me in line. I'll usually say to, it's a 19-year-old kid or something, I go, well, obviously this isn't your life dream. What is it that you want to do with your life? And I'm always amazed that they kind of go, oh, like you're talking to me. I mean, do you ever notice that even on the phone when you get some, courtesy call thing, and they're like, so, how are you? And they just kind of take a beat because it's like, you care about me? And I just think yes, it's those, wonderful, lofty ideas of how we can, improve this world. But to me, it's the smallest, one heart at a time thing that will change how this world works. Can you see how that can happen?
Yes.
I mean, I even again, Southwest Airlines flight, I'm looking out the window and I'm seeing this baggage lady, and she's hauling these big bags by herself, onto the thingy poo. You know what I'm talking about. The thingy poo, it's a technical term. And she's, throwing these bags on, and same thing, she must have felt my energy, because all of a sudden she looks up at me and I go, yes! I give her one of these, like, you rock, babe, you are amazing! And she just goes, like, I mean, this expression, because she was like before this, and now all of a sudden she's like, and she goes back to work, and every once in a while you can see she's looking up at me like this. And at the very end, she just looks up one more time, and I just thought, and that's the example, right there. We didn't even have any words. I don't know who she is, she'll never see me again, I'll never see her again. But in that moment, she drove away, and I could feel her energy change. Just by, You know, I mean, let's face it. I say this at every one of my women's retreats. The biggest gift we can ever give anybody is being seen and heard. Period. I see you. I hear you. You know, whenever I sing my song, you are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. People become puddles when I do that as an exercise, because it's like when we really strip away all the stuff, we're just seeing the face of God in every single person that we see. It's just a mirror. You're seeing yourself. They're seeing themselves. And that's all that we're here to do, I think. We're here to be open to the fact of everything you just said in your beginning part of, we are these beautiful beings that are called here as divine lights to shine. So I found a few quotes I just want to say. There is one choice that we have. This was this morning. I found on this site that always sends me beautiful quotes. There is one choice that we all have, and this is our golden opportunity in every moment of every day. Whatever small or big challenges it brings, do I shut down or do I choose to open up my heart one more time? Do I shut down to someone that might have done me wrong or cut me off, or do I choose to breathe into that place, knowing that each of us are a gift, each of us are the face of God, and just saying, you matter. You matter who you are. I see you, I hear you. You are a gift. Let's play that song. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, let me read this to you too. Ready or not, someday it will all come to an end. All the things we collected will pass to someone else. Living a life that matters doesn't happen by accident. It's not a matter of circumstance, but of choice. So choose to live a life that matters, a life that is authentic and real, and choose to know that who you are right here is a gift. That's it. Here you go. I am a gift, no matter what age, no matter how I look, there's beauty in each stage. I am a gift, and I promise every day that when I look in the mirror, I'll say, I am a gift. I am a gift. And I am a gift. I've loved really well, and every year I've lived has a different tale to tell. I've made mistakes and I have some regrets, but I promise I'll never forget that I am a gift. Can you sing that with me? Just that line? Just say, I am a gift. There may be times when I forget the truth about me, when it seems time and youth, they're just marching on without me. That's when I might need you to find me, and ever so gently remind me. Let's just do piano, this part. That I am a gift, God's precious child. I was put here on this earth, but only for a while. So I make this vow, and I say it with love. I am perfect and whole and enough, and I am a gift. Can you sing that with me? Just say it. Keep going. I am a gift. Say it again. It's an affirmation. I am a gift. You can look around the room and tell someone you are a gift. You are a gift. Tell somebody else, they might need to hear it today. You are a gift. Let's affirm it for all of us. We are a gift. We are a gift. So repeat after me. I am perfect, whole, and complete. I am perfect, whole, and complete. I am seen, I am heard, I am loved. I am seen, I am heard, I am loved. There's nothing I need to change.
There's nothing I need to change.
Who I am makes a difference in this world.
Who I am makes a difference in
I can
this
change the world one heart at a time.
I can change the world one heart at a time.
Because my heart is big.
Because my heart is big.
And the truth about me is...
And the truth about me is...
I'm fabulous! Thank you all for listening. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Derek.